What is up on another wacky Wednesday? Specific Chiropractic Centers, Docs in the house as always. After Hours Live, Wednesday, June 12th. So good to see everybody. I was absent on last week because I was in the country of Scotland. Good to see you, Brownie.
Hanging out with the Scottish, eh?
Hanging out with the Scottish. I was in the land of the Scots of wind and 45-mile-per-hour winds and really cold weather for June, to be honest. But great golf, great views, great scenes, great history. It's good.
Yeah, that's the place I want to go. I haven't been there before. I've been to London and Ireland, and those are close. I thought the Irish were hilarious, and I've heard that the Scots are pretty dang funny too. So that's a sweet trip to go on.
It was a pretty sweet trip. It was, it took me from Monday until today to kind of come back to earth. But nonetheless, back here, got Tammy Downham with us. What is up? And if you're joining us, feel free to tell us who you are, where you're joining in from. So we're going to jam out a little bit on this Wacky Wednesday. I'm not dubbing it Wacky Wednesday because we put neck pain on the thing, and I'm not even actually sure what we're giving away this evening, Chris. What are we giving away? Do we know?
Last week we gave away a $50 gift card to 5-Star Nutrition, and Terry Ayers was the winner.
Okay.
And other than that,
Terry Ayers, there she is, Johnny on the spot.
Yep, there she is.
Got a first-time joiner, Miss Alex Bowling. What's up?
What's going on?
Yeah, so here's what we'll do then. We'll, as we're letting people pop on here, jump on, we'll probably go maybe $50 gift card to. Let's bring back Local Lime, because Local Lime seemed to be like a hit when we did $50 gift card to Local Lime. Somebody's winning a $50 gift card to Local Lime tonight. It's gonna be a lucky viewer. You got to be here as always. I think we should probably tally at this point too. We've done this every single Wednesday since January 1st.
Yeah, we have not missed one.
Yeah, we've got to tally actually how much in prizes, including the iPad back in, what was that, April? I mean, if you do $50, $100 gift card here, $50 there times 6 months, it's got to add up to something. So kudos to you guys for joining in. Hey, the topic is, I think we're talking about some neck pain tonight. But before we get into neck pain a little bit, I want to talk about, first and foremost, the College World Series. In case you guys didn't know this about Dr. Chris Brown and I, we both actually played college baseball. So this time of year is really fun because it's the College World Series. Top 8 teams get to go to Omaha. I personally never got to go to Omaha. I've never been to Omaha. I've never been to the College World Series. I know you have, though, right?
Omaha is a boring town. Let me tell you, there's nothing going on in Omaha. We didn't make the World Series. We weren't even close. I don't even think our team had a winning season when I was there. But we did play the school that gets hosted there is called Creighton University. And so their home field is TD Ameritrade, which is sick. So when we went there, I was a sophomore when we played them. And we're all taking Snapchat saying, first Aggie birth to Omaha. And it's in like March and it's snowing and stuff. And
you think they get a little bit? You think they get a little better recruits getting to play in that stadium every year in that fantastic ballpark? I don't think Creighton's all that good though, are they?
No, I mean they're okay. They can hit pretty decent, but I think they won their conference a couple years ago. But I don't think they've made any noise recently. The tough part about this College World Series is that there's no West Coast teams and there's no Razorbacks.
Yeah.
It's featuring just 2 conferences, ACC and SEC. So it's just 2 heavyweights just duking it out.
I'd like it to be known that in my will and my trust, I'd like the Arkansas Razorback baseball team to be my pallbearers when I die, so they can let me down one last time before I depart this earth. Because once again, they're not making it. Anyways, I digress. Who you got though? Before we get into some neck pain, we give people some value here who tune in every Wednesday. Who do you got in the College World Series? Who you got coming out as the victor?
I still
feel free, folks, if you'd like to post over your winners, your predictions over in the side. Who knows? It may get you to win something. Who knows? Just so we know, we got 8 teams. We got Tennessee. We got North Carolina State. We got UNC, North Carolina. We got North Carolina. We got Florida.
Florida State.
We got who am I leaving out?
Oh.
North Carolina State, Tennessee, Florida State. Florida. Who beat Georgia?
NC State beat Georgia.
Clearly the other
Texas A&M,
Texas A&M. Yep.
and then Kentucky.
Kentucky. That's who I was missing out. Yeah. Terrier, Kentucky, Florida, North Carolina. Here's the thing, though. I honestly, I told you today. I think North Carolina State wins the whole thing. So if you're a better gambler, go up to
See,
Oakland, put it on
North
NC
Carolina
State. It's the
State.
best odds. I think they're gonna win. So
See, I think UNC. I don't know. I just
North
from what
Carolina
I've
boys.
seen, from what I've seen on Twitter and stuff, UNC is. I think that they're a sleeper in this. But also Florida State's nice. Texas A&M's pretty nasty. Florida's hot right now, and they're the underdogs. They're a 3 seed coming into this, so they got nothing to lose. I think
Right on.
Kentucky's overrated. I'll just ramble at this point.
So
Baseball,
we're talking about neck pain tonight, folks, because as you know, neck pain is what we do as upper cervical docs. Of course, we do way more than that and tend to see a lot of cool stuff with cases, outside of just neck pain. In fact, I had a new client today who came in who was suffering from some lower back pain and had been to the traditional chiropractic route and had the lower back adjustments, wasn't getting anywhere. And I was explaining to him, one of the coolest things about what we do is because we're taking a look and managing the central nervous system, it really doesn't matter where the particular issue is because the nervous system controls everything. So there's literally no part of your body the nervous system is not under control of. And, we operate off of 4 tenets. One is that your body's designed to heal. We believe that. I just think I'm of the opinion, I've never had anyone argue this with me, that the body is a self-healing organism. When you get a cut, it heals. Second part of that is the reason your body can do that is because you have a brain and you have a central nervous system that communicates from the cells of your body to your brain. That communication and that kind of internet of information, if you will, that's traveling from the cells of your body to your brain is what allows for that. Well, if there's a breakdown in that communication or that interference due to a misalignment in your upper neck that's causing that, essentially what's happening is your body's ability to heal has diminished. The ability for your body to heal itself naturally that we all inherently have. It's why the person sitting next to you doesn't have oftentimes the same symptoms or ailments or things plaguing their life that you do. It's because their central nervous system operates differently than yours does. It operates on a different frequency. It has different interferences. It has different interferences to different areas of the body. The good news is for you, and the even better news is for us, is that when we can identify or detect that via scanning technology that we use, and we remove that interference, and we can validate that that's happening via the chiropractic adjustment, the body moves from a state of maybe 60 to 65% healing, and it bumps it to 90 to 95% healing, which means your healing capacity has increased, and the ability for that symptom or whatever ailment you're suffering from to go away has a chance to do that, has an opportunity to do that now. So that's what's cool about what we do is we don't treat anything. We don't claim to treat things. What we do, and we're really good at this, is identifying where interferences are to the central nervous system and removing that and allowing the body to heal itself naturally as it was allowed to or supposed to, or you were innately born to do. In case you don't know what the word innate means, we're big on that word in chiropractic. Innate means born innately into your system. You were born with that. You don't have to gain that later in life. It's something that was already created inside your body. We just untap or unlock that potential that resides within you. And when that can happen, your body has an amazing opportunity to do things. Now, the topic though is neck pain. So we're going to take you guys through some of our favorite tips, tricks, kind of things to look out for, things to do to help manage neck pain. Because let's be honest, neck pain sucks. Like if there's one thing that, I would say, low back pain is the number one cause of disability in the world. And I would put neck pain up there as a close, probably third. The other big one being like some sort of headache migraine. And oftentimes those are intertwined or interconnected. So Brown, give us your best, right off the top, tip for neck pain for our folks who are viewing in tonight right now.
Right off the top, tip for neck pain, get a knee chest adjustment if you're in pattern. That's the easy one. I'm personally not a neck pain person. I'm actually a low back guy, so I get low back spasms. So I really haven't dealt with a whole lot of neck pain, but especially if you're in a neck spasm, that's like good luck. That's just kind of like wait out the storm. I had actually one of Grant's patients came in last week and she was in mid neck spasm. Her scan looked good, so I did not adjust her. But what I did recommend for her was almost kind of like a pin and stretch with a ball. So get like a lacrosse ball, buried into the area that's bugging you, whether that's kind of lower neck or upper neck might be a little bit delicate, but like lower neck, especially if your traps involved, because all these muscles they start up here and they come down. But take a ball, pin it against the wall, and instead of like rolling around like a lot of people do, pin it and just kind of move your head. Take your ear to your shoulder, create some length here, and then take your nose, turn, and then look down. That's creating a huge stretch of all of this. And people also think that like, oh, this is my neck, and down here is my neck. This is your trap. This is your neck. Um, but I really don't necessarily encourage people to do maximum stretching of their neck or movement. My neck actually always feels really good after a cold shower, which is kind of weird, it seems like, but I think that's just because of how parasympathetic that makes you, like how much of your nervous system gets switched on from a cold shower. It almost just feels like all of this is very like light and doesn't have pressure or weight on it. So that initially, I mean, getting adjusted, doing pin and stretch type stuff, cold showers. I can also help out my neck with breath work, but I mean, just keeping it moving, sleeping face up. There's a lot of little things going on, but I'm not a neck pain at home like expert. Although I need to be a bone pillow.
Well, speaking of neck pain experts, let's here's one of the main reasons I feel like we see a lot of neck pain patients is because the advice that most people get when it comes to managing neck pain is garbage. Like I'm just gonna get like thinking of experts. Most people would look at like Harvard Health, Harvard Med as like the neck pain experts. Here is Harvard Med's 6 tips to help you find neck pain relief. You ready for this novel, earth-shattering advice that the people out there get before they come to us? Don't stay in one position for too long. Wow. If you wear glasses, keep your prescription up to date. Don't use too many pillows. This is my favorite one. Know your limits. For example, before you move a big armoire across the room, consider what it might do to your neck or back and get a good night's sleep. That is what the experts are saying that will help you with your neck pain. We wonder why neck pain is so prevalent. It's because that is like that. That's what you got for me. That's what you got for me, Harvard Med, the leading experts in the. Anyways, don't use too many pillows. Great, thanks for that. Know your limits. All right, so here's the thing. Neck pain, like most pains, anywhere in the body, it can be arm pain, leg pain, digestive pain. Pain is just simply a siren going off in your body that something is malfunctioning somewhere, and it has been for probably a long amount, for quite a while, because symptoms are usually the first things to show up, but also the first things to leave. And so if you're someone who's suffering from neck pain, or you know someone who is, typically that's resulting from one of 3 or 4 things, if not all 3 or 4 things. The first is there's a misalignment somewhere in the neck, and what it's doing is it's causing the head to come forward. By far, lion's share, most people who come into our office, when we shoot an x-ray, they have a forward head posture. I would say it's 90 to 95% of people who come into our office and we x-ray them, and Chris is exhibiting there, have some sort of forward head posture. And the question becomes, what causes that? The number one cause, I would say, of neck pain is forward head posture. So the question becomes, how do we eliminate forward head posture? Well, there's the first step. This is why we identify this, is we look for an atlas misalignment, because that's what's holding your head up. You got to remember, your head, depending on who you are and how much information is stored in it, is anywhere from 12 pounds to 16 pounds. It can be literally that large. And so for every 10 degrees that your head goes forward, it adds about 10 pounds of weight the actual weight that your neck is experiencing actually increases by 10 pounds for every 10 degrees that it moves forward. So if the head comes forward, what's going to happen is it's going to strain. Yes, as he's exhibiting there, it's going to strain the ligaments and the muscles of the neck. When that's left long enough, and then we get things like this, the cellular device, and we get on that, video games and reading and looking down and working from a computer and all the things ergonomically so the fire's already been started when the forward head posture comes forward. And then the gasoline we're pouring on top of it is all of those things that come into your life on a day-to-day basis, on a phone, on a laptop, moving things, pushing things, actually the act of getting out of bed in the morning and pushing off with your neck when it's in a relaxed position. Most people have the biggest neck issues first thing in the morning. The reason for that is because their neck is in a vulnerable position when they sleep and they're relaxed. And when they go to get up in the morning, they push off with their head and neck. One of the first things I'm going to tell you for tips to eliminate neck pain is never get out of bed pushing off with the back of your head. So never go and push to get out of bed like that. Number one thing you want to try to do is roll. Want to roll one way or the other and then allow yourself to get up. Never. And the other big thing is when you go to sneeze, this is kind of counterintuitive. Most people don't think about this. When you sneeze, you want to sneeze with your head up. You sneeze with your head forward and allow it to whip forward. That is the number one way to cause a disc bulge in the neck. It's not a good scenario. And if you've never had the pleasure of having a disc bulge in the neck, I don't recommend that because we see a lot of people who have them. It's one of the most excruciating pain sensations, spasms, nerve pain going down the right arm you can possibly experience. So number one is we got to eliminate bad posture, especially forward head posture. The number one way is to make sure the atlas is aligned, and then also to do the biggest thing is awareness towards it. Not doing anything with your head pushing forward. The number one thing that I tell people across the board, that's the number one way this can happen, is when you're lifting weights or working out. You're lifting weights or working out, the number one thing that will happen is when you go to lift something, your head pulls forward. And when it does, it's going to cause your trapezius muscle to spasm, and it's going to cause all sorts of issues. I would also say too, when it comes to the pillow that you sleep on is very important. So if you're clients of ours, you know that we recommend certain pillows, and a lot of times if you're early in care, we don't recommend it just yet because we're trying to get your neck stable first, because this is the reality of it is it doesn't matter what pillow you're sleeping on. If you have a bad neck sleeping on it, it's going to be painful. That's why a lot of times when people come to us, they've recycled 6, 7, sometimes more different types of pillows, and like, nothing works for me. And they get under care and their neck gets healthy, and then it doesn't matter what they sleep on. It's because your neck is far more important than what you're sleeping on. However, at night, what you're sleeping on does matter. And so what I personally recommend is D-Core cervical support pillow. If you guys don't know, also inside of our free Facebook group, the Happier, Healthier Arkansas Facebook group, is where we drop all of our guides. We actually have a guide in there that is the guide to picking a perfect pillow. It talks about how to pick a pillow. So if you're not in that group, you need to go get in that group. Happier, Healthier Arkansas. It's a free Facebook group. It's where we drop all of our free guides. And including inside of that is our guide to picking the perfect pillow, which oftentimes for most people is the D-Core cervical support pillow, mid-size firm or full-size firm, depending on the size of your neck. If it's Chris's neck, it's a full-size firm. If it's mine, it's a mid-size firm.
I get made fun of for having a long neck, especially from Cam. It says, so we all have the same barber, Jesus Gomez, and he always says I got a giraffe neck. So yeah, I think that's from years of, so like for me, majority of people here, not majority, but some people here are patients, right? So you see your x-rays, you see your head is over space. My head used to be over here and kinked, literally like that. And for a long time, I must have been looking at the world like this. I probably would have been sitting like this or something. And so I always would try to correct my posture and try to sit up straight. And I'd end up being like this. And so now that I've been under care for a couple of years, I'm actually kind of a lot more linear. I sit very upright, and the length of my neck is like, it's very long. But when Grant was talking about sleep, and I actually want to pose a question to the people tuning in. Does anyone sleep on their stomach? Does anyone sleep on their stomach?
Raise your hand and reveal yourself. If you sleep on your stomach.
Exposure.
Exposure.
The context behind me asking that is I used to sleep my stomach a ton, and I would always sleep with my head rotated to the left. Even when I was in the crib, I would sleep with my face down, head rotated to the left. As I got older, teenage, even chiropractic, I'd sleep my stomach face down to the left. That's how I'd have to fall asleep. And come to find out, my upper neck misaligns to the left and rotates this way at baseline. So I'm almost looking at people like this naturally. Those would be comfortable. So when I sleep, I'm unconsciously, my nervous system and innate are unconsciously trying to unwind that to free up space to allow my brain to communicate properly with my body as much, because it's trying to take off as much tension of that upper part of your spinal cord as much as possible. So very curious, especially for some people that do, if that matches up, kind of similar story. But yeah.
Got some people doing a couple. Yeah, we got a couple that do, a couple that don't. Here's the thing. We want you on your back. We want you sleeping on your back or on your side if at all possible. But here's the other thing that's really interesting about like the way that a lot of times people describe things like brain fog or almost like neurological type symptoms when they sleep. So when I'm sleeping, my legs feel heavy, or I feel numbness and tingling, or I feel something neurologically happening. And the reason for that is probably because in the particular the way that you're sleeping, the CSF flow that goes from your brain down through your spinal cord is being obstructed in some way. And the reason that that's occurring is oftentimes twofold. One is you have a severe misalignment in the neck, and you're also sleeping on something bad. When you get a double whammy of that happening, what typically happens is you then have to move yourself while you're sleeping into a position that makes that comfortable. And if it's on your stomach or if it's on your side, that usually is indicative that something's going on in the neck, more likely than not. And then the other big thing, when we're talking about fog is blood flow. So you got to remember, blood pressure does what when you go to sleep? It elevates or it lowers?
Do people know?
Does our blood pressure, so does the blood pressure lower or does it get higher when we sleep?
Terry, Alexandria. What do y'all think?
Miss Tanya said lowers. Got a
a
lowers
lower
vote.
there.
Anybody else? Anybody else got a vote? Does it elevate or get higher, or does it lower? Tanya
Didn't you say elevate. If our brain gets heavier, we were smarter? Nice, Tanya. That's funny. That's funny. There you go.
It can be an indication of that. Yes, it very much can be an indication of that. So the answer to the trivia question is it actually lowers. Your blood pressure actually is going to lower when we go to sleep. It absolutely is. And so because of that, that means our brain is not getting perfused with blood flow as much as it would during the day. Now, if we're getting adequate breathing and we don't have an apnea event or anything like that, which is the only instance where your blood pressure actually elevates, which is why it's not a healthy phenomenon, is sleep apnea. The reason apnea is really, really bad is not so much because of the obstruction. That's bad too. But the reason it's really, really bad is because when your brain goes into obstruction of getting oxygen, it actually elevates your blood pressure at night when it's not supposed to. And so that is not a good thing. So one of the things that's been beneficial or been found according to research, and I'll post this research article up, is elevated bed therapy has actually been shown to help with headache, migraine, neck pain, as well as apnea. What elevated bed therapy is just basically where the bed is elevated to about a 10 to 15 degree pitch. So there's some mattresses out there, some beds out there that will allow for a little bit of elevation. And the reason for that is because then what that's going to do is when your blood pressure lowers and you're at an elevated state, it's actually going to cause, because of gravity, it's going to allow your CSF flow and your blood flow to increase naturally. And so a lot of people who are suffering from headache, migraine, especially apnea and neck pain, elevated bed therapy is also a really, really good hack. You can do that by elevating pillows behind you. You can actually get foam wedges. You can get a mattress that actually elevates just a little bit. Now, too much, obviously, if anything is too much. But if we're talking like 10 degrees, 15 degrees of just barely elevation, can actually lead to a little bit of physiological improvements when it comes to the fancy doctor lingo is hemodynamics, or blood flow and CSF flow coming from the head and neck area. So give it a try. If you're somebody out there who's like, I just feel like I wake up often with some sort of fog, headache, neck issue. It just seems to be every morning. Try elevated bed therapy. Look it up. You can Google it. You can Google elevated bed therapy. There's a lot of research out there for this type of thing. Let's give away the gift. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I got one thing. In addition to that, what can really help with sleep is breathing through your nose when you sleep. Doing your best to have your mouth closed, breathing through your nose. That's actually going to force that proper pressure to get up to your brain. That's not going to elevate your heart pressure. It's because it's using your diaphragm as that pump properly. That doesn't occur when you breathe through our mouth. So if you're a little bit inclined, maybe like myself, I just put a little piece of tape over my mouth just to ensure that I can sleep with that closed. And my mouth isn't dry. I don't wake up groggy, and I wake up pretty clear and ready to go. The nights where I don't do mouth tape, I am groggy. Mouth is all dry. It takes me a little bit longer to get moving, get greased, and I'm also a lot more dehydrated just from the water vapor that's getting out of my mouth each breath. So just something to consider. But breathing through your nose during sleep is very critical for blood flow to your brain and the health of your neck and body.
Yep. Last tip I'm going to give to in closing before we give this giveaway is motion in the neck is critical for neck health. There's no doubt about it. So if you're one of those out there who has neck stiffness, especially when you're looking over the right shoulder, looking over the left shoulder, if that's not something you can do fluidly or with ease, then that's going to the buildup of adhesions and whatnot in your neck is going to really cut. Motion is very critical to the neck dynamics of blood flow, CSF flow, and nerve flow. One of the best ways to do that is when you're in the shower and you've got the warm water hitting you or the cold water. Doesn't matter if you're doing cold water therapy. I would recommend when it's warm, is to go through range of motion exercises during a heat state. So while we're out, right now outside, it's really, really hot outside. So that's, easy to do. But if, when you're in the shower is one of the best ways because your muscles are relaxed, blood flow is promoted to the skin and the muscles. That's a really good time to just take yourself through all of the ranges of motion, starting with left bend, right rotation, left rotation, flexion, and extension. Just getting motion into your neck. You guys actually don't realize how little you take your neck through ranges of motion. In fact, one of the biggest things that I get from people when I test range of motion is they're like, wow, I've never actually looked at that. I didn't actually know I can't turn to the right. I didn't actually know I can't tilt to the left. Yeah, it's because no one's ever looked at it, which means you're definitely probably not doing it. So it's just actively every single day creating it in your routine to get motion in the neck as much as you can. It's going to keep your neck mobile. It's going to keep it healthy. It's really, really good. It's like most things in your body. If you don't move them, they become stiff and tight. Your neck is no exception. In fact, I would make the argument it's the most important that needs to move more than anything. That's why if you think about it, your ankles and knees and hips don't get real stiff. It's because you move them every day. But when it comes to the neck, we don't often move that enough. So put that into your routine. Put these tips into your regimen. See if we don't get less neck pain. All right, dude, let's give away a $50 Lululemon gift card. Looks like we've got 1, 2. We'll give the folks here 1 minute. Pop something in the comments to be entered. Can be, hey, guys, this was helpful. Eating.
Yeah, post some takeaways.
Our takeaways. Yeah, something. If you guys felt this was helpful.
We doing local lime or Lululemon?
Local lime.
Local lime.
Did I say both?
You just said Lululemon. No. You just
Sorry.
teased the whole audience. They're gonna about to
local. Well, I mean, let me see. Yeah, I'd say let's do local lime. 6, 7, 8.
Is that Mexican food? That's Mexican
12,
food,
13,
right?
14, 15, 16, 17. It is.
All right. So we had this lady come in today and drop off like.
This is a sign, folks. This is a sign, folks, of if you don't believe in a higher being, this is the reminder of what happened to Chris today.
8 tacos and like 8 enchiladas, burritos, and I am currently 72 hours fasted. And today Grant had a Greek salad with the chicken Greek salad with barbecue sauce on it. And my mouth was salivating. Then this lady brings in Mexican food.
Tell them why you were salivating, though, Chris.
Oh, because I'm hungry, man.
Why are you hungry, Chris? Tell the folks at
I
home why you're
said, I
hungry.
said I'm 72 hours fasting. My last meal was Sunday night. Sunday
Chris
night
has
was my
been
last meal.
fasting for 72 hours, and then we've never had this happen, but a lady named
Exactly.
Adelita came in and was selling tamales, tacos, and enchiladas today.
Yep.
And that's what
And
temptation is, folks. Whenever Chris is on his 72-hour fast and he was really struggling, and guess what? There it is,
I'm
selling
still.
tacos at a steal of a rate. I
Oh.
purchased them because I am not one of the crazy ones who does a 72-hour fast. I enjoy nutrients in my body, so it was super great. All right, let's give away. Looks like you have the random number generator.
I can pull that up.
Let the
Yeah,
random number
so
generator. We're gonna do a random number between 1 and 20.
yeah, you got a 20.
That's how many comments we got.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I didn't even type a number generator. I'm too busy focused on Mexican food, everybody. That's the moral of the story is that this weekend I'm eating tomorrow morning. This weekend I'm getting Mexican food. That's the moral of the story. I'm like, dude, those burritos look so good. And yeah, you got me messed up again, man. Why'd you do that?
And then I'll say this too. Also, if you want to hear some more tips on something else or whatever you guys want to hear more of,
Yeah, let us know.
let us know. Post up in the comments. Post up on our Facebook page. Post in the free group. Hey,
Yeah, let us know,
I want
please.
more of this on the After Hours Live, and we will undoubtedly accommodate. We just want to be of help and value.
Absolutely. So
You got it?
Yep, I just got it. It's on the laptop. 1 through 20. The winner was
12.
12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That's
7,
me out
8,
again. That's
9,
crazy.
10, 11, 12. Alex Bowling. That's the 12th one right there.
Hey,
That's the winner.
nice. Wow.
All right.
One of the
Alex,
new
you're taking
listeners,
home
new
a
followers.
local Lime gift card. Next time you're in the office, we will have that for you. And while you're in the Little Rock area, you can jam out on some tacos. My favorite at Local Lime is the ribeye tacos. Oh, man.
Dude, you gotta stop talking about
Super
food,
good.
man.
So good. The ribeye tacos are great. They really are. It comes with like this crema.
That sounds so
Anyways.
good.
Okay, now I'm hungry. Folks.
Yeah, dude, you're jacking with me.
Yeah, don't talk about tacos when you're 72 hours fasted, guys. That's the last tip we will give you of the evening. And also 72 hours fast. Just don't talk about food. And tamale, that's tough, Chris. That's tough. Until next time, we will see you guys next Wednesday on another rendition of After Hours Live. Thanks for joining in for us. Congratulations, Alex. And like I said, if you guys want to see anything else, just post it up on our Facebook page or Instagram, and we will fly that info out there quick to you. Hope y'all have a great evening.
Take care.